Welcome to Botany class, children. Unit 4, Principles and Processes of Biotechnology. Today we are going to discuss about the genetic engineering. Genetic engineering we discussed in our last class itself. Do you remember what are the other terms of genetic engineering? Genetic engineering is otherwise known as recombinant DNA technology or gene cloning or gene manipulation technique. It is a collective term that includes different experimental protocols resulting in the modification and transfer of DNA from one organism to another. It will transfer DNA coding for a specific gene from one organism into the another organism using agents like vectors. Today we are going to discuss tools necessary for genetic engineering. The basic tools necessary for genetic engineering are enzymes, vectors, and host organisms. What is enzymes? Enzymes are a globular protein that catalyzes a biological chemical reaction. It is a globular protein. Vector. What is vector? Vectors are carriers of genetic information from one organism into another. Usually a DNA molecule is used. Host. Host here refers to parasite. What is parasite? One organism depend on the another organism. So parasites are host. The most important enzymes required for genetic engineering are restriction enzymes, DNA ligase, and alkaline phosphatase. Now let us discuss restriction enzymes. These enzymes are responsible for restricting the growth of bacteriophage. Do you remember what is bacteriophage? Virus infecting bacteria. Restricting the growth of bacteriophage in Escherichia coli were isolated in the year 1963. One enzyme which added methyl groups to DNA while the other cut DNA. So these two enzymes responsible for restricting the growth of bacteriophage. One will add, another one will cut DNA. Later it was called as restriction endonuclease and molecular scissors. Restriction sites. What are restriction sites? An enzyme that cleaves DNA into fragments at or near specific recognition sites within the molecule is called as restriction sites. Cleaves. What do you mean by the word cleaves? Break into fragments, into pieces. So here this enzyme breaks DNA into pieces at or near a specific recognition site within the molecule, inside the molecule. That is called as what? Restriction sites. Based on their mode of action, these restriction enzymes are classified into two types called exonucleases and endonucleases. Now let us see what is exonucleases. Exonucleases are enzymes which removes nucleotides one at a time. Only one nucleotide it will remove from the end of the DNA molecule. So these enzymes remove the nucleotides one at a time from the end of the DNA molecule. For example, Bal31 exonuclease 3. What is endonucleases? These enzymes breaks the internal phosphodiester bonds within a DNA molecule. So this takes place within. Exo means at the end of the DNA molecule. Endo means within a DNA molecule. What is phosphodiester, children? Here phospholipid such as lecithin which has two ester groups. So this is called phosphodiester bonds. Here endonucleases means what? These enzymes which break the internal phosphodiester bonds within the DNA molecule. Example, HINE 2 E core 1. So these examples are very important because they will ask in one words. Hind 2. Dash is an example for endonucleases, or example for enzymes which break the internal phosphodiester bonds, like that they will ask. So Hind 2 is an important 1 mark question. E core 1 also. So what is the difference between the exonuclease and endonuclease? Exonuclease are enzymes which remove nucleotides from one at a time from the end of a DNA molecule, whereas endonucleases are enzymes which break the internal phosphodiester within the DNA molecule. Okay. Next, next it is also called as what? Molecular scissors. There are three main classes of restriction endonucleases. They are type 1, type 2, type 3. They differ slightly by their mode of action, but most preferably used type is type 2 enzyme, only type 2 enzyme, because they will recognize and cut DNA within a specific sequence which consisting of 4 to 8 base pairs. Here the restriction enzyme Hind 2 always cut DNA at a point of recognizing specific sequence of 6 base pair, whereas only type 2 that will cut at a specific sequence between 4 to 8 base pair, whereas Hind 2 always cut a DNA molecule at a point where there is specific sequence of 6 base pair. Today, more than 900 restriction enzymes that have been isolated, children. Over 230 strains of bacteria. These restriction endonucleases are named by standard procedure. Standard procedure. Here the first letter, for example, E core 1. The first letter here indicates the name of the genus, followed by the two letters, that is CO indicates species. Then next letter R represents the strain of the organism. Finally, 1, Roman numeral 1 indicates the order of discovery. E, Escherichia. CO, coli. R, strain, RY 13. 1, first nucleus to be discovered. So this short form, abbreviated form also has got a standard procedure. Restriction endonucleases E core 1. This contain two different antibiotic resistant genes and recognition site for several restriction enzymes. This sequence is also referred to as restriction sites. Generally it is called as palindromic. What do you mean by the word palindromic? Palindromic means that the sequence in both DNA strands at this site read same. That is, there are two strands which run from anti-parallel to each other. One run from 5' to 3' direction. Another one will run from 5' to 3' direction. For example, Malayalam. This phrase read the same in either of the direction. If you read from left to right, it is Malayalam. Or right to left also, it is called as what? It can be read it as what? Malayalam. So both the side, when you read from left to right or right to left, both it represents what? Malayalam. Likewise here also, sequence, a symmetrical repeated sequence are there in DNA strands. Such is called as palindromic repeats. Palindromic repeats. Next, the cleavage produced by restriction enzyme is very important because some enzymes cleave through the center. Some enzymes cleave in a way protruding or resistance. Now let us see what is symmetric cuts or asymmetric cuts. Symmetric cuts is otherwise known as blunt or flush end. Asymmetric cuts otherwise known as sticky or cohesive end. What is symmetric cuts? Some enzymes cleave both strands of DNA through the center. So it is called as symmetric cuts. Whereas asymmetric cuts, here the enzymes cut in a way producing protruding and resistance. What is protruding, children? Protrude means to extend from or above, beyond a surface. That is the meaning. Resist means what? An opening. An opening. So if the enzyme cleaves through the center means it is called as symmetric, otherwise known as blunt or flesh end. If the enzyme cut in a way producing protruding and recessed ends known as asymmetric cuts or sticky or cohesive end or staggered end. So this restriction enzyme play very important role in genetic engineering. Next, let us see DNA ligase. Now let us learn DNA ligase. DNA ligase enzymes are paste enzymes which joins the sugar and phosphate molecules of double stranded DNA with 5' phosphate and 3' alcohol group in an ATP dependent reaction, that is adenosine triphosphate group. This is isolated from T4 bacteriophage. So DNA ligase is a paste enzyme. Third important enzyme is alkaline phosphatase. We completed two enzymes. They are restriction enzyme, restriction endonuclease, and DNA ligase. One act as a molecular scissor, another one act as a paste enzyme. Third, we are going to see alkaline phosphatase. This alkaline phosphatase enzyme is a DNA modifying enzyme. DNA modifying enzyme which adds or removes specific phosphatase group. Specific phosphatase group. Thus, it prevents self-ligation. It prevents what? Self-ligation. This enzyme is purified from bacteria and calf intestine. It is purified from bacteria and calf intestine. Next, we are going to see vectors. We are going to learn what? Vectors. What did I tell about vectors, children? It is a DNA molecule used to carry genetic information from one organism into another. Now, these vectors are small DNA molecule capable of self-replication. What is replication? Replication means to make a copy. To make a copy. Here, vectors are used as a carrier or transporter. Carrier or transporter. And it is also called as what? It is also called as cloning vehicle or cloning DNA. Cloning vehicle or cloning DNA. Vectors are of two types. They are cloning vector and expression vector. Cloning vector and expression vector. Cloning vector. What is cloning vector? Cloning vector is nothing but it is used for the cloning of DNA insert inside the suitable host cell. Insert means what? Insert means to put in between or into. So here it is this cloning vector is used to put between the suitable host cell or inside the host cell. DNA is inserted into the suitable host cell. Expression vector. Expression vector is used to express DNA insert for producing protein. For producing protein inside the host cell. So, expression vector is used to express DNA insert for producing protein. Whereas cloning vector is used for cloning DNA insert inside the suitable host cell. Now let us learn properties of vectors. What are the properties of vectors? Vectors has got the ability to replicate autonomously to produce multiple copies of them along with the DNA insert in the host cell. Autonomously means what, children? Autonomously means acting on one's own, that is, it is independent of the other. Okay, so these vectors are able to replicate autonomously to produce multiple copies of them along with the DNA insert in the host cell. Now let us see the properties. These vectors are able to replicate autonomously. Next one should be small in size. Vector should be small in size and of a lower molecular weight, that is less than 10 kilo base pair, below kilo base pair in size, so that entry and exit will be easy. Entry or transfer into the host cell will be easy. Then it must contain an origin of replication, so that it can independently replicate within the host. It should contain a suitable marker. Suitable marker means here antibiotic resistance, so that to permit its detection in the transformed host cell. Then it should have unique target sites for integration. Unique target sites for integration means, unique means what? Being the only one of its kind. So it won't be same like the other. Same like the other. It should have unique target sites for integration. Integration means what? Act of making whole with the DNA insert. That is all about. Then next one is, it can produce multiple cloning site or polylinker, so that it will produce what? Multiple. These are multiple cloning sites or polylinker. Most of them commonly used cloning vectors have more than one restriction site. So most commonly used cloning vectors have more than one restriction sites. So more than one restriction site means these are multiple cloning site, otherwise known as polylinker. So presence of this multiple cloning sites facilitates the use of restriction enzymes of choice. So these are the properties of vectors. That is, vectors are able to replicate autonomously. They should be small in size and of low molecular weight, and they must contain an origin of replication. They should contain a suitable marker, that is antibiotic resistant. They should have a unique target sites for integration, so that they have more than one restriction site, that is multiple cloning site or polylinker. Features required to facilitate cloning into a vector. What are the features required to facilitate a cloning into vector? That is origin of replication, selectable marker, cloning sites. What is origin of replication? Origin of replication, it is a sequence from where the replication starts. Sequence from where the replication starts, and piece of DNA when linked to this sequence can be made to replicate within the host cell. So first it will check the sequence from where the replication starts. When this sequence recognize the piece of DNA, when it is linking to the sequence, it can be made to replicate, make a copy within the host cell. So inside the host cell, it can made to replicate when the sequence link with the piece of DNA. This is called as what? Origin of replication. Next one, selectable marker. Selectable marker. So in addition to the origin of replication, the vector requires a selectable marker, which help in identifying and eliminating the non-transformants, so that selectively it will permit the growth of the transformants. Selectively it will allow only the transformants growth. Next one is cloning sites. Cloning sites. So in order to link the foreign DNA, the vector needs to have a very few preferable single recognition sites for the commonly used restriction enzymes. So cloning site should be very important to link with the foreign DNA. Here the vectors need to have very few, preferably single recognition site is enough for the cloning site to replicate. Next, let us see types of vectors. Let us learn the types of vectors. What are vectors, children? They are the carriers of genetic information from one organism into another. They are the carriers of genetic information from one organism into another. Now, types of vectors. There are different types of vectors such as plasmids, TI plasmids, transposons, expression vectors. We are going to study plasmids and TI plasmids. What are plasmids? In our previous class itself, types of vectors, plasmid. In our previous class itself, we discussed what is plasmid. Plasmids are extrachromosomal, self-replicating, double-stranded, circular DNA molecules, which is found in bacteria cell, which contain genetic information for their own replication. PBr322 plasmid. This is a reconstructed plasmid. It is a reconstructed plasmid which contain 4361 base pairs. What is this PBr322 represents? Here P denotes plasmid, Br denotes name of the scientist respectively, that is Bolivar and Rodriguez, who developed this plasmid. The number 322 represents the number of plasmids developed from their laboratory, and it also contains two different antibiotic resistant genes and recognition sites for several restriction enzymes. TI plasmid. What is TI? TI means tumor inducing plasmid. It is found in Agrobacterium tumefaciens. This bacteria responsible for inducing tumors in several dicotyledonous plants, dicot plants. So, Agrobacterium tumefaciens induce tumors in several dicot plants. This plasmid carry transfer gene, which help to transfer tDNA from one bacteria to the another bacteria or plant cells. This tDNA of TI plasmid is stably integrated with the plant DNA. It will combine with the plant DNA. Competent host. What is competent? Competent means permeable to foreign DNA. Permeable means what? Permit foreign DNA. So, competent host. The propagation of the recombinant DNA molecules must occur in a host, inside the host. Okay, propagation means what? Multiplication or increase, natural increase in a population. So, here multiplying of the recombinant DNA molecule should occur inside the host. So, there are many type of host cells are available for gene cloning. For example, E. coli, yeast, animal or plant cells. These are all different types of host cells are available for gene cloning. The type of host cell depends on the vector type and the cloning experiment. E. coli is the most widely used organisms in the genetic makeup. Why? Because it is easy to handle, easy to grow, and it can be studied for safety, and it can accept a range of vector. So, for all these reasons, E. coli is been used extensively for studies, since it is easy to handle, grow, and then can accept a range of vectors and also been studied for safety. So, one of the most important feature of E. coli to be preferred as a host cell that it under optimal growing condition the cell divides every 20 minutes. For every 20 minutes, under optimal growing condition, the cell will divide. For this purpose, E. coli is preferred widely. Since the DNA is hydrophilic molecule, what is hydrophilic? Hydrophilic means what? Able to absorb water. So, since the DNA is hydrophilic molecule, it cannot pass through the cell membranes. So, it has to take up the bacteria. That is, here, in order to force bacteria to take up the plasmid, the bacterial cells must first made to competent to take up the DNA. Competent means what did I told? Permeable to foreign DNA. So, first we have to force the bacteria to take up the foreign DNA. How can we force the bacterial cell? It is done by treating them with the divalent cations. What is divalent cations? Two valency which have a positive charged ions. That is called divalent cations. For example, calcium is a divalent cation. So here recombinant DNA then be forced into such cells. How can we force that? That is by incubating the cell. Incubate means what? To raise. So incubating the cell with the recombinant DNA on ice, and then followed by heat shock. Heat shock at the degree of 42 degrees Celsius, and again putting them back on the ice. So by doing this method, incubating with the recombinant DNA on ice and then 42 degrees Celsius heat shock, placing them on the heat shock and then again putting them back on the ice. By doing such process, this enables the bacteria to take up the recombinant DNA. Now, for the expression of eukaryotic proteins, only eukaryotic cells are preferred, not the prokaryotic cells. The next step after a recombinant DNA molecule has been generated is to introduce into a suitable host cell. There are many methods to introduce recombinant vectors, and these are depend on several factors. Methods of gene transfer. There are two kinds of gene transfer methods in plants. First one is direct, second indirect. Direct is otherwise known as vectorless gene transfer. Indirect is otherwise known as vector mediated with the help of vector. In detail, now let us study what is direct or vectorless gene transfer and its types. What is direct gene transfer method? Here the foreign gene of interest is delivered into the host cell without the help of the vector. Here vector is not needed. So directly we can deliver the gene of interest into the host plant. Under this, there are some of the common methods are there. They are chemical mediated gene transfer, microinjection, electroporation, liposome mediated method, biolistics. These are different types of methods through which we can transfer the foreign gene into a host cell. First one, chemical mediated gene transfer. Certain chemicals like polyethylene glycol, that is PEG, and dextrane sulfate, these chemicals induce DNA uptake into the plant protoplast. So by using these chemicals we can inject the foreign DNA into the host plant, that is plant protoplast. Microinjection. What is microinjection? That is using certain instruments. Here fine tipped glass needle or micropeptide. These are instruments which is used to transform DNA directly into the nucleus. Using these instruments we can inject the DNA directly into the nucleus. Electroporation method. Electro means what? Using a high pulse of high voltage is applied to the protoplast cells or tissues. So when we apply this high voltage, they create a transient pores. Transient means what? It disappear. These pores disappear in short times. It create a transient pores in the plasma membrane, so through which we can introduce the foreign DNA. Next is liposome mediated method. Liposome, it is a artificial phospholipid vesicles. Through this we can inject the or transfer the genes. DNA is transferred from liposome into vacuoles of the plant cell. This technique is more advantageous because the liposome, it will protect the introduced DNA from being damaged by acidic pH and protease enzymes. So it is more advantageous. Liposome and tonoplast of vacuole, they fuse, resulting in gene transfer. So as a result, liposome and vacuole outer layer, that is tonoplast, this both will fuse, which result in gene transfer. This process is called as liposuction. Liposuction. What is liposuction? Liposome and tonoplast of vacuole fuse, which result in the gene transfer. This process is called as liposuction. This is a 2-mark question, children. Next is biolistics. There are other names for biolistics: gene gun method, microprojectile, shotgun method. So what is biolistics? Here the foreign DNA is coated onto the surface of minute gold. So what they are doing, upon the minute gold or tungsten particles, they are coated. These foreign particles are coated and bombarded onto the target tissue. So we can very accurately send this foreign DNA into the plant cell using this biolistic method. Where we are going to target, there we can send this DNA, foreign DNA or cells using the particle gun. Then the bombarded cells or tissues are cultured on a selected medium to regenerate plants from the transformed cells. Indirect or vector mediated gene transfer. What is vector mediated? With the help of the vector, here we are going to introduce the foreign DNA into the host cell. Gene transfer is mediated with the help of a plasmid vector, is known as what? Indirect or vector mediated gene transfer. Among the various vectors used for plant transformation, the most useful is TA plasmid from Agrobacterium tumefaciens. Agrobacterium tumefaciens. This has been used extensively because of its size is larger and it is known as TA plasmid. Do you remember what is TA plasmid? Tumor inducing plasmid. Already this tumor inducing plasmid, it will have a portion of tDNA, that is transfer DNA. It will transfer to the plant genome in the infected cells and it cause plant tumors. So since this bacterium has got the natural ability of transfer tDNA into a plant genome, upon the infection of cells at the wound site, it is also known as natural genetic engineer of plants. So this TA plasmid from Agrobacterium tumefaciens has been used extensively because of its naturally it will have a tDNA within it, which will infect cells and cause plant tumors. So since the natural ability to transfer the tDNA region of its plasmid into the plant genome, it is called as what? A natural genetic engineer of plants. Screening for recombinants. What is screening? Screening, it is a process by which we can identify whether the host cell have received the recombinant DNA molecule. So, after introducing the recombinant DNA into a suitable cell, it is essential to identify those cells have received a recombinant DNA molecule. So, this process is called as what? Screening. The vector or foreign DNA present in recombinant will express the character, whereas non-recombinants do not express the character. One of the best method we can find whether the recombinant is present or not is blue-white selection method. Blue-white selection method. Blue-white colony selection method. It is a powerful method which is used for screening of recombinant plasmid. Here, in this method, a reporter gene LAC-Z is inserted in the vector. So, what is vector? It is a carrier. The LAC-Z, what it will do is, it will encode the enzyme B-galactosidase. And it contains several recognition sites for restriction enzymes. So, here the reporter gene is LAC-Z is inserted in the vector, and it will encode the enzyme B-galactosidase. Now, this B-galactosidase enzyme will break the synthetic substrates. Synthetic means what? Artificial substrate, that is called as X-gal. B-galactosidase breaks the synthetic substrates called X-gal into the insoluble blue colored product. Now, if a foreign gene is inserted into the LAC-Z, this gene will be inactivated. Already this LAC-Z is inserted in the vector. Now, if a foreign gene is inserted into the LAC-Z, this gene will be inactivated. Therefore, no blue color will develop due to the inactivation of the LAC-Z. How this LAC-Z is inactivated? By introducing the foreign gene into it. Therefore, the host cell containing recombinant DNA will form white color colonies, whereas the cells which contain non-recombinant DNA will develop blue colors. So, cells with recombinant will produce white color colony cells, whereas non-recombinant DNA will develop blue color colonies. So, on the basis of the color, we can select the recombinants. Antibiotic resistant markers. Antibiotic resistant is a gene that produces protein. Gene producing protein that prevents the cell with resistance to an antibiotic. So, resistance means it will withstand. Okay. So, an antibiotic resistant marker is a gene which produces a protein that prevents cells withstand to an antibiotic. Bacteria with transformed DNA can be identifying by growing on a medium. Bacteria transformed, that is tDNA, can be identified by growing on a medium like ampicillin, antibiotics like ampicillin, chloram, amphenicol, tetracycline or kanamycin, etc. While other may not be able to grow in this medium. Hence, it is considered to be a useful selectable marker. So, only the bacteria with the transformed DNA can be identified by growing on the medium because it contains antibiotic. These recombinants will grow on this medium, whereas the others cannot be grown. Replica plating technique. It is a technique in which the pattern of colonies growing on a culture plate. Culture plate means what? It is a place where we can grow bacteria in an artificial medium. Here, first the sterile filter plate is pressed against the culture plate and then lifted. And then the filter is pressed against the second sterile culture plate. This results in the new plate being infected with the cell in the same relative position as the colony in the original plate. So, when we pressed the first culture plate, there is no change. When we pressed against the second culture plate, this results in the new plate being infected with the cell in the same relative position. We can see the growth here. Usually, the medium present in the first culture plate differ from the second one. So, it may include any antibiotic or without growth factor. In this way, transformed cells can be selected. Molecular techniques. Electrophoresis is a technique used to separate different biomolecules with positive and negative charges. By applying this technique, we can separate different biomolecules with the positive and negative charges. Principle. By applying electricity, the molecules migrate according to the type of charges they have. That is, positive charged cations will move towards negative cathode. Negative charged anions will move towards positive anode. One of the method used here is agarose gel electrophoresis. This method is best used for the purification of specific DNA fragments. It is a very convenient method for separating DNA fragments, which ranges from size few hundred to about 20,000 base pairs. The most preferable thing used for purification of smaller DNA fragments here is polyacrylamide. The gel is a complex network of polymeric molecules. So, under the electric field, DNA molecule is a negatively charged molecule, so that it will migrate through the gel. One of the advantages of this agarose gel electrophoresis method is the DNA bands can be readily detected at a high sensitivity. So, the bands of DNA in the gel are stained with the dye ethidium bromide, so that we can easily detect the DNA. DNA can be detected. Blotting techniques. What is blotting? Blotting refers to the process of immobilization of sample nucleic acids. Blotting means what? Process of immobilization of sample nucleic acid. It is also widely used analytical tool for the specific identification of desired DNA or RNA fragments from a large number of molecules. So, from a large number of molecules, easily we can identify, that is specifically we can identify the desired DNA or RNA using this blotting technique. So, it is used as a target in the hybridization experiments for the specific detection. Let us learn the different types of blotting techniques. There are 3 different types: southern blotting, northern blotting and western blotting. What is southern blotting? Southern blotting, it refers to the transfer of DNA from the agarose gel to nitrocellulose membrane. Transfer of DNA from agarose gel to nitrocellulose membrane. Now let us see in detail. Southern blotting technique, DNA. How DNA transfer from agarose gel to nitrocellulose membrane. Here the DNA is denatured. Denatured means not natural DNA. From the agarose gel to nitrocellulose. It was first introduced, this technique was first introduced by Southern in the year 1975. This blotting technique is otherwise known as filter paper technique. So it is called as what? Southern blotting technique. Steps. The transfer of DNA from agarose gel to nitrocellulose filter paper, this is achieved by capillary tube. That is a capillary action. What is capillary action? It is a narrow tube. So using this capillary action, we are going to transfer the DNA from agarose gel to the nitrocellulose. Then a buffer is used. Buffer means here the buffer used is sodium saline citrate. Sodium saline citrate. This is a buffer. It is a solution used to stabilize the pH. Here the DNA is highly soluble in this buffer. It can be easily drawn up through the gel into the nitrocellulose. So to draw up the through this gel into nitrocellulose DNA, buffer is being used. By using the buffer, DNA is highly soluble in that. It can be drawn up through the gel into nitrocellulose membrane. By this process, single stranded DNA becomes trapped. Trapped means what? Caught in the membrane matrix. This DNA is hybridized with the nucleic acid and can be detected by autoradiography. So first what we are going to do, we are going to transfer from the DNA from the agarose gel to nitrocellulose by capillary action, and then a buffer is being used in which DNA is highly soluble. So by doing this process, single stranded DNA become trapped in the membrane matrix. This DNA is hybridized with the nucleic acid and it can be detected by autoradiography. Northern blotting. What is northern blotting? Northern blotting, the transfer of RNA to nitrocellulose membrane. It was found that RNA is not binding to cellulose nitrate. Therefore, Alvin et al. In 1979 devised a procedure in which RNA bands are transferred from agarose gel to nitrocellulose filter paper. So, previously it was found that RNA is not binding to cellulose nitrate. So, for that purpose, Alvin et al. Devised a procedure. This transfer, that is the RNA transfer from gel to special filter paper, is called northern blot hybridization. Here the filter paper used for this technique is amino benzyl oxymethyl paper, which can be prepared from Whatman 540 paper. So using this Whatman paper, filter paper used for northern blot is amino benzyl oxymethyl paper can be prepared. Western blot. Western blot. What is Western blot? Western blot is electrophoretic transfer of protein to nitrocellulose membrane. Here it refers to electrophoretic transfer using electricity. Electrophoretic transfer of protein to blotting paper. Nitrocellulose filter paper can be used for Western blot technique. So, in this technique we can use nitrocellulose filter paper. A particular protein can be identified by probing the blot. What is probing? It is a small device. So, using a small device we can identify a particular protein with a radio-label antibody, which can binds on the specific protein to which the antibody was prepared. So, with this we complete the different types of blotting techniques: southern blotting, northern blotting, western blotting. Southern blotting, transfer of DNA to nitrocellulose. Northern blotting, transfer of RNA to nitrocellulose membrane. Western blotting, electrophoretic transfer of proteins to nitrocellulose membrane. Bioassay for target gene effect. What is bioassay? Analysis of the biological activity of the substance. Target gene. Target gene may be target DNA, foreign DNA, passenger DNA, exogenous DNA, gene of interest or insert DNA. that is to be either cloned or specifically mutated. Cloned under asexually produced. Specifically mutated, sudden change, specifically made. Gene targeting experiments have been targeting the nucleus. So, experiments have been conducted in order to send the DNA particularly to the nucleus. So, this leads to gene knockout. For this purpose, there are two types of targeting vectors are used. One is insertion vector, another one is replacement vector. Replacement is otherwise known as transplacement vector. Insertion vector. Insertion vector are initially circular. This circular vectors, when it is sent inside, it will become linearized within the homology region. And it leads to duplication of the sequence adjacent to selectable markers. Next is replacement vector. Replacement vector, already it is in collinear with the target. Within the homology region, it is collinear. Collinear means it is straight. Insertion, it will be initially circular. When it is inserted, it will become linear. But here it is replacement vector, already it is collinear. Vector, that is linearized prior to transfection, and this leads to crossing over occurs. Here consequently a crossing over occurs to the replacement the endogenous DNA with the incoming DNA. Genome sequencing. What is genome sequencing? What is genome? Genome is the whole complement of a gene that determines all the characters of an organism is called genome. The whole gene that determine all the characters of an organism is called genome. The genome may be nuclear genome, mitochondrial genome, plasmid genome. The genome of many plants contain both functionally and non-expressive DNA proteins. Genome of plant contain many both functional and non-expressive DNA proteins. That is plant genome projects. Plant genome projects, in which the whole genome of plant is analyzed. Such projects have been so far undertaken in Chlamydomonas, Arabidopsis thaliana, rice, maize plants, and so on. Genome content. What is genome, children? The whole complement of DNA that determine all the characteristic of organism is called genome. This genome content of an organism is expressed in terms of base pairs or in terms of content of DNA. Content of DNA or in terms of number of base pairs present in the genome, and it is expressed in C, letter C value. Evolutionary patterns assessed using DNA. In recent years, the evolutionary relationship between different plant taxa is assessed using DNA content as well as the similarities and differences in the DNA sequences arrangement. So, using these two, DNA content and similarities and differences in the DNA sequence, evolutionary relationship of a plant taxa can be assessed. Based on such analysis, the taxa and the relationship are indicated in cladogram. Such a cladogram will show the genetic distance between two taxa. That is, it is also showed antiquity or modernity. Antiquity is ancient or modernity of any taxon with respect to one another. Genome editing and CRISPR-Cas9. What is genome editing? Genome editing is otherwise known as gene editing. Do you remember what is genome? The whole complement of gene that determine all the characteristic of an organism is called genome. This technology, it is a genome editing, it is a group of technology that has the ability to change organisms' DNA. It is a group of technology which has the ability to change organisms' DNA. This technology allows the genetic material to be altered, added or removed at a particular location, particular locus in the genome. Several approaches to genome editing have been developed. One of the recent is CRISPR-Cas9, which is in the short form of clustered, regularly interspaced, short palindromic repeat Cas9, that is associated with the protein 9. This system generated a lot of excitement in the scientific community because of its faster, cheaper, more accurate and more efficient than the other existing genome editing methods. First plant to be used was rice. The gene editing tool CRISPR can be used to make hybrid rice plants that can clone their seeds. Imtiaz Kant and Venkatesan Sundaresan and colleagues, they reported in a new study which clearly shows one can re-engineer rice to switch it from sexual to an asexual mode. So, under this treatment, genome editing or gene editing, one can switch the rice gene in the plant rice to switch it from sexual to an asexual mode. We can re-engineer. RNA interference. All characters of organisms are the result of expression of different genes which are the regions of a nuclear DNA. This expression involves transcription and translation. What is transcription? Transcription is a copying of genetic information from one strand of DNA by RNA. Copying of genetic information from one strand of DNA by RNA. Translation and translation. What is translation? The process whereby a strand of mRNA directs assembly of amino acid into proteins within the ribosome. This process is known as translation. This RNA, as soon as it is formed, it cannot be straight away sent to the cytoplasm to undertake the process of translation. It has to be edited and made suitable for translation, which brings about protein synthesis. So, one of the main items removed from RNA strand are introns. So, all these changes before translation normally takes place whereby certain regions of DNA are silenced. RNA interface is one of the simplified model. That is, RNA interference is a biological process in which the RNA molecules inhibit gene expression or translation. This is done by neutralizing targeted mRNA. What is neutralized? To make inactive or even. So, a simplified method is being explained. That is, a simplified model for RNAi pathway is based on two steps, which is involving ribonuclease enzyme. What is the first step? In the first step, the trigger RNA is processed into short interfering RNA. Trigger RNA is processed into short interfering RNA with the help of an enzyme RNase 2 enzymes called as Dicer and Drosa. Dicer and Drosa are RNase 2 enzymes. This enzymes only catalyzes this process of converting the trigger RNA into short interfering RNA. In the second step, this short interfering RNAs are loaded into effector complex RNA inducing silence complex, that is RISC. So, in the second step, siRNAs are loaded into effector complex RNAs inducing silencing complex. This siRNA is unwound. Unwound means what? To separate. So, this siRNAs separate during the RISC assembly and the single strand RNA hybridizes with the mRNA target. This RNAi is seen in plant feeding nematodes. This is how, with the help of these two steps, it is converting. Children, in today's class, we learnt tools for genetic engineering, plasmid, competent host, methods of gene transfer, screening for recombinance, molecular techniques, bioassay for target gene effect, genome sequencing, and RNA interference. Thank you, children.